What's going on, Internet? This is Jeff from Saratoga Screams, and today I'll be bringing you part 2 in my series where I showed you how I built this fireplace, but today going into the fire effect, the burning coals, and the bubbling cauldron, and everything else. So let's go have a look.
So here is the fire just here on the counter as I was getting things set up so I can walk you through what's going on. It looks very convincing, I think. Maybe it probably looks a little bit better on video than it does in person. In person, though, the red is a little stronger, but I didn't have a strong enough orange light. So if I do this again, I would get a better orange light. But anyway, here we go. So totally not real, just mist. The way it works is it starts with this mini fogger here. That is a real Game FX Fog Monster 2. It's a fog machine for tabletop gaming. But what it basically is, it's just a fancy ultrasonic mister, or ionizer, I guess. You see them in aquariums, whatever. It just creates mist. And then it's pumping it up. There's a pump in there, and then there's a fan intake fan here, blowing out the air straight down this tube. And then it's pumping it straight up. And then I'll walk over here. But you could do the same effect with just any old ultrasonic mister, and if you had your own set of fans or whatever, you could do the same thing. This is just something I do miniature wargaming, make a lot of terrain and stuff. So I had that. All right, so then it goes into here. Let me pull off the lid. I've got 3 halogen lights of maybe if I turn them off so you can see them. Okay, so you got there's an orange light. I'll kill the fog for a sec. All right, so in here we have an orange light, a red light, and then a yellow light. These are the sizes I could find. I'm sure if I looked around, I'd find better lights. But it's a pretty convincing look. Or you could even do like greens and purples and have some cool different flames. But the way it works is, and the halogens, I use them because they're super hot. So the heat helps the mist rise even faster because hot air rises, right? So if you had a strong enough fan, you could bypass the heat needed to create the same effect. But I didn't have quite that setup that I wanted. So the halogens create that heat, pushes the air up faster. These are dollar store like pie tin, cake tin things. That's obviously to create a heat-resistant shield and housing for the lights. And then we took this one as well, put it on the top, cut a slit out for the flame, to be linear. And that directs all the heat and air and everything up one channel. And then you kick on the mist again. We turn on the mist fan and turn on the lights. Let's let it start pumping. Oh, I'm sure you do, buddy. Hold on. Here we go. And voila, fire at its finest. It looks really good. I'm impressed. Very pleased. This is going to go now mount in the fireplace. Oh, yeah, Jordan? You want to say hi? Say hi. Hi. Yeah, that's my 3-year-old. All right. So now you've seen how this thing breaks down. I'll show you what it looks like set up in the fireplace. Okay, so I've taken the baking sheet thing, cut my slit, it's fit to my lights, and now I'm going to cover this in great stuff, or expanding insulation foam, to create a burning pile of coals, or embers. Okay, so all I've done is the spray foam dried. I put down a coat of fluorescent orange paint on there, and then I sprayed black paint over the top, which just so that way if it's light, it doesn't look terrible. It kind of looks like burnt coals. But when you plug in these lights, so that is what it looks like plugged in, which looks pretty good, especially in the dark. So there you go. It's going to go in the fireplace. So this is the whole thing brought together. And now we'll go check out how it all works from behind the scenes. So let's go have a look. So for the cauldron, I just mounted 2 cup hooks into the top of that bookshelf, where I bought some chain from Home Depot and just rigged an old, very cheap cauldron that I picked up, I think, at like Michael's or something. And I took that cauldron, added, just cut a half piece of pool noodle, and then glued it all the way around with hot glue to give the cauldron a little more beef to it, you know. And those so those chain hooks just go into the holes of the cauldron themselves. I think I had to enlarge a little bit. In this cauldron, you have an ultrasonic mister right there. This is providing the mist for the cauldron itself. This is filled with water. There's also a water-resistant LED down here. And this I can change the colors on with a remote. The battery's actually dying right now after the full weekend of hunting. But it's good enough for me to leave it on green. But yeah, so that is all that the bubbling cauldron is just an ultrasonic mister in a cauldron full of water hanging from the bookshelf. That wire runs all the way down and back here. I had wanted to actually disguise the wire better and run it closer to here, but I didn't end up getting to that. The coals, which you saw me build, sit over the fire. This is actually my second set of coals for this weekend, for this Halloween season, because my first one's burnt out on me for some reason. And that's the problem with doing coals this way if you're using the old school lights, where if one light bulb goes out, you lose the whole strand. And I'm pretty sure that's what happened in my last set of coals. But here's a new set that I built in a real quick hurry to replace the old ones. They just also run with the wire right back through the hole, and that's where they're plugged in behind. And if we lift that off, you can see that I took my halogens, and it's going to be super bright, but I am running. There is a hole right back behind these large yellow halogen, and that's where the mist is coming up from. And I've got the red and the yellow. The orange one that I have, the amber, it ends up just being super bright and not so much amber, so I ended up not really using it. It added too much brightness to the fire and not enough amber, which is what I really wanted. So it's not the perfect fire. I mean, it looks really good on film. I don't want to get you wrong. But in person, if it was slightly more amber and a little less yellow, it'd be even better. But it still looks really awesome. Okay, so now let's go behind. I'm gonna go behind the scenes here. So I'm just gonna move this guy out of the way. It's way easier just to move it. Okay, so I made this so it slides off. And we can go back here and see that there I have that Fog Monster 2 right here, set up to pump the ultrasonic mist up into the flame area. I've got it all plugged in with like 1,000 things going on back here. I'm sure it's safe. But I also have the added effect is the wireless Bluetooth speaker running the flame effect sound and also a bubbling cauldron sound that I mixed together into one sound effect. And so that puts directional sound right behind the fire. And the full effect is what you see right there. And it looked really good. So that is how I did the full thing. Hope that helps everyone. And I encourage you all to build your own. It's really not that hard. It takes, a little bit of work. So that is how the fire effect and bubbling cauldron was made and put together, and it worked out really well all Halloween. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Happy hunting.